We might want to know who doesn't, or perhaps from a different perspective, how many people do not. In other words, what we'd really like to do is come up with a way to count the entries in column G that contains spaces. A COUNTIF comes to mind as one possibility, but there is a function that gets directly to the point, and that's called COUNTBLANK. And this example here, let's just highlight the cells we're looking at would be in column G here. Just highlight these cells. Now, if this is a larger list, this is more of a drag perhaps, but nevertheless not too big here. How many blanks are found there? And that will tell us how many people do not have benefits. It's 28. That's the number of blanks we found in column G. And if you are using that with a larger list, be prepared either to drag or possibly to type in the entry. If you refer to the entire column, you will be coming up with a value like this or near something like this. This is the total number of rows in Excel 2007. And so a simple count blank here will reveal, and this might be trivia, but on the other hand, just to point this out, if we do this for the entire column G, that number is based on this minus the ones where there are entries. So the other question that might come out of this is how many people do have benefits? And so here what we'd use is equal, and we probably start off with just the simple idea of how many entries in column G do have any data at all, with count A. And this will tell us how many actual entries there are in column G. And one of those is G1, so we'd be mentally subtracting 1 there. So there's 71 people who do have benefits here. You could process that in a different way with a count blank function, but I think this is probably the better way to do it here. Simply subtract 1. Now, another technique here too, if you'd like to fill in the blanks here, we can click column G, and not so well known is that on the Home tab, in the editing group on the extreme right side under Find and Select, there is a Go To special, and you could click that button and choose just the blanks here. So all the blank cells are highlighted and not the ones below the data, but just within this solid cluster of data here. You might just want to put in here NA, possibly, or any word that might be appropriate. If you do put in NA, it might get lost in the mix, so you might put in a space, put in some hyphens or something. Do that in a way that makes it stand out. And just type Control-Enter to complete the entry, and those will all be filled in with NAs. That's a thought, not necessarily related to what we're doing with count blank, but that might have some merit in its own right. Now, as we look at the information over here, is another example. And just to point out that we're not always looking in a single column or in a single row. How many blanks are here? You can see pretty clearly there are 3, but just point out the idea that count blank certainly has its uses here and there to give us a quick count of how many cells here contain nothing in this group right here. And here the answer is going to be 3. So a quick, easy to use function which has its uses here and there as you're trying to tabulate information from various sets of data.